Hi everyone, this is Killshot 99 Gaming. This is Walking Dead Season 10, Episode 4, Breaking Saddiq. We got a good show for you guys tonight. So many topics we're going to talk about this week. I just need you guys to hang in there, be patient. We're going to do complete recaps. I'll go over the entire lineup of what we're going to do within the next couple days. You guys know this is double shots, so there are 7:30 streams, 9:30 streams. I'm going to talk about some of the criteria. Before we get too far into it, thank you so much to the Patreon Army up there on the screen. And a brand new announcement. We got a brand new Patreon, Kim Sharp, and also a brand new PDL sponsor. Yes, you can see her up in the upper right-hand corner. Judy Perry, thank you so much. She's lucky number 13 for Play Dead Live. If you guys don't know what Play Dead Live is, show up this Friday night and you'll see our live action role playing. So we're going to talk about Saddiq tonight. I've seen several other questions, several other theories that are out there. So I promise you guys, we will talk Ezekiel this week. We will talk Aaron this week. We're going to talk about tracking down Alpha this week. Once we finish this stream tonight, there's a lot to talk about with Saddiq. We're going to go into our 9:30 stream, which is going to be a complete recap. A lot of those topics are going to come up, and then we're going to funnel them down. But as we asked last night, one of the most common occurrences that everybody wants to discuss right now is how these flashbacks keep coming up with Saddiq, and they get worse and worse each time. So I want you guys to really drill down into this story, because there were some crazy things that happened that are becoming more and more apparent. And let me say this, and please don't go crazy with this comment. There are certain things that I understand are difficult for writers to do visually. And I have always tried to maintain the purity of The Walking Dead, that The Walking Dead does not discriminate, that whatever happens to a person, we're all kind of human, and this is a zombie apocalypse, and there's crazy stuff that goes down. I also understand that there are sensitive topics, and sometimes writers avoid sensitive topics. And I've avoided even bringing this up on the stream, because I know it immediately throws everybody, kind of all in disarray. Like last year, when it was brought up that Saddiq could be a traitor, some people rallied on it, and some people just, extinguished it right away, because they said, nope, it's bad television. You can't show Saddiq because of where he's from, because of what he believes in, participating in this type of activity. I know it's dicey. For me, The Walking Dead is completely colorless. It always has been. It always will be. Now, I'm not a producer on the show, so just take that into consideration when I discuss it. I'm not trying to fan any flames. I'm not trying to overly discuss a theory, but I do want to talk about what I see with Saddiq and all the different potential storylines that could play out. Fair enough? Are you guys cool with that? Because I want to be the resident Walking Dead psychologist. So I love the stories. We love to break it down. If you guys are brand new, you will certainly be able to drill down. Certainly Christmas Girl. I mean, opinions, we all have them. But when you can avoid a controversial opinion, especially when you have a microphone, it's usually in my best interest to do so. However, I do want to talk about what I see with Saddiq, and what I see is someone that is keeping us on the fence. From everything I've seen with Saddiq, he is likable. He continues to be likable, but he also is hiding a secret. There's no doubt about it, and I think that's what makes it extremely tough with his character, because typically we get villains, and the villains are so pronounced. It's like, hey, I'm a villain. I like killing people. I like taking people hostage. Hate me. Saddiq is a little bit different, and here's why. How many people think Saddiq is lying and is hiding something? That there's no doubt about it that his speech was different than what he saw, and he is certainly holding something in and lying to the group. 100%, right? See, this is why most people here do think he's lying. I mean, his story did not jibe. Seems like it. Okay. Now, how many people feel like Aaron is hiding something? I would argue and say, no, Aaron's a pretty straight shooter, right? Aaron doesn't appear to be hiding anything. Not a liar. Speaks his mind. So you got Saddiq, and for tonight's episode, I am going to cross-examine Saddiq and against Aaron. So Aaron seems pretty honest, right? But then let's talk about another category. How many people are absolutely pissed off at the way Aaron is dealing with Negan, the way Aaron is dealing with bullies, the way Aaron is voting Negan to die on the council? How many people are upset about that Aaron storyline right now? Right? Julie Red Fair says he's acting like an ass. So almost everybody. And let me say, tomorrow night at 7:30, we are going to do an entire stream talking about Aaron. So keep that in mind. Okay. But how many people, if we look at Saddiq, see Saddiq as the opposite of Aaron? Saddiq is speaking up. He's defending Negan. He's trying to apparently do the right thing. I mean, he's trying to operate on Carol. He can't. He never got the opportunity to work on Lydia because he can't. So Saddiq seems to be a good-hearted person. So you've got Saddiq, who appears to be a liar, Aaron, who appears to be truthful, Aaron appears to be bitter, Saddiq appears to be likable. I'm very, very confused, everybody. And the writers have certainly put me in this quagmire of grayness. You know, it's usually black and white. Right now, The Walking Dead and the character development is extremely gray. And I absolutely love it. I love it when it is like human nature. It is like people, because people confuse you and throw you a curve. And that's the big difference between what the show is doing and how it's tying into real life. We got Brandon Schneider. Saddiq is hiding half the truth from us. Brandon, it's a great point. He is hiding something. And the question is, how big is the story that he's hiding? What did he do? What was he made to do? Or what did he choose to do? What did he negotiate? And I think that's that whole guilt. Some people are saying it's survivor's guilt. Some people are saying, you know, he tricked them. He lured them out there. Some people are saying he just saw it and he can't deal with it. So let me say this. There is a chance. So Lisa, let me kind of tone that rhetoric down just a little bit. I'm uncomfortable when you say something like, and I want to be clear with this, something like, I don't understand all the Saddiq haters in here. Thinking that Saddiq made a decision does not lump you in as a hater. It means that you have a opinion of what you see on the show. I feel like Saddiq lied to the group based on what they showed initially, what he said, and what he's now seeing. That does not make me a Saddiq hater, nor does it make anybody else a Saddiq hater. I don't think people are just, I don't like this character. I will tell you, I think Avi Nash is doing an incredible job. And no, but I want to point it out. I'm not just singling that comment out. I think there's some truth to it. And maybe it's not what you meant by that, but I certainly think it's a valid point. There is that concept that if you, and I appreciate you bringing it up, because I've actually gotten messages, believe it or not, I've gotten messages several times this week from people that said, people only think Saddiq is a traitor because he's Muslim. I swear to you, I have gotten that comment from multiple people. And when we talk about it, that's where I want to kind of diffuse it a little bit and say, no, I want to talk about the potential of Saddiq being a traitor because I think based on what we see, it does it injustice not to talk about it, not to analyze it, not to say, and look, it happened last year. It happened last year when the first traitor thing came out. People said, oh, you did a video about it. You don't like Saddiq because of where he's from. I love Saddiq. I love Saddiq's character. And you know what? If Avi Nash could pull that off and be a traitor and say, look, it's something we do need to talk about. It is something that we need to put out there. We can't be afraid to say anybody can go down this path of darkness. And we can't avoid it just because and say we can only make this type of ethnicity a killer on The Walking Dead. Everybody on The Walking Dead can be a killer. And honestly, I would love to see a few more villains. Because who are the three biggest villains in the history of The Walking Dead? See if you can name them. Three biggest villains on the TV show. Governor, Negan, and Alpha. All three Caucasian. So I have no problem with anybody on the show being a villain. But I also think there needs to be a little bit more diversity in the storyline. We can't be afraid to say anybody can do anything on the show. And as I said, I'm not going to make this overly political, but I do want to kind of give that bounce back because I don't think that if Saddiq did something, I'm not going to hold it personally against his character. I think it is human nature. It's about survival. It's about zombies. It's about anybody at any time can do something. Saddiq, no exception. So I want to drive that point home that Saddiq has something to hide. Now, whether Saddiq killed or whether Saddiq witnessed something and manufactured a story, that's really kind of what we're at. And we're getting these bits and pieces that are starting to manifest. And it wasn't just one episode, wasn't just two episodes. We saw it again. And this particular flashback was a little bit more disturbing. Certainly, no doubt about it. I mean, E-Beach, and I like the fact that, like I said, I'm not going to make this about backgrounds of anyone. Jocelyn was certainly a villain. A temporary villain, but no doubt about it. And I think that story is a good story to tell. And as we start to develop more and more, I don't know what the next wave of The Walking Dead is going to be, who the next villain will be, but I hope that it is just based on nothing, based on circumstance. Christmas Girl. I like that a woman is finally the villain. Certainly. Look, these are all, in my mind, it's an extremely healthy conversation as long as it stays a healthy conversation. And when it becomes like, no, we need to do this or we must do this, then we're going to shut it down. But I certainly like that Alpha is a villain. I like the fact that she was written as a villain. Goucher, thank you so much. Appreciate that contribution. Appreciate that super chat. Brandon Snyder, Alpha proves. All right, come on now, Brandon. Everybody is evil. Oh, boy. Can you guys start throwing stuff at Brandon? So, now that we've clarified that anybody at any time can do something that is despicable, dastardly, crazy out there. Let's break down what is Saddiq going through. Now, we've got several different instances. This week, Margot got thrown back against the wall, accident. And then Saddiq started, he was down on a knee. I love this picture. In fact, this is probably, of all the scenes on The Walking Dead, this scene has a lot. You've got people blaming Negan, Daryl comforting Lydia, Saddiq going through his own little world. So while all this stuff is happening, Saddiq is down on a knee, and he sees these people coming at him. Now, when I saw the flashback, it started to lean a little bit back toward his story. Okay? I'm not saying that Saddiq, let's talk about the potential, right? Saddiq could have not fought. He could have been a traitor. He could have helped. He might not have did any of those things. There's potentially about 4 or 5 different things that he either did or he didn't do. And we're going to start to funnel it down. So we got another super chatter. Catface Killer. One person's villain is another person's savior. That's got some depth to it, right? Because of saviors. I would agree with you from Negan's perspective. Well, you know what? Even Alpha's perspective, I guess. I mean, there's people that think Alpha is the savior. In fact, almost every villain we've had on The Walking Dead has had like a posse. They've had their own group. It's a great comment. Love it. Love that comment. Will Sykes says you either die or live long enough to become the villain. Okay, so let me get into, now that I've completely disenfranchise myself from the entire audience. People are going to watch 5 minutes of this and says, I'm not tuning this YouTuber again. They're just talking about race. No, we're establishing a baseline to get to why we think Saddiq could or could not be involved. So here you go. Number 1, let's go worst case scenario. Saddiq decapitated Henry. How many people? That's your argument. You're putting your foot down right now. Doesn't matter why he did it. Could have been for Rosita. Could have been to save his own butt. Could have been for Coco. Saddiq did the worst possible thing, and he actually decapitated one of the saviors, and it was Henry. How many people? Raise your hand. Get your vote in right here, right now. All right. We got that crew that thinks that. Okay. How many people think Saddiq thought he was doing the right thing, maybe bargaining chips, and he lured some people out, not knowing what the consequence was going to be? He assisted Alpha, but he didn't assist her with killing anybody. How many people are in that group? Stand up, raise your hand, be proud. Be proud of your opinion, your viewpoint. There's nothing wrong with it. All right, we got that. How many people think he did neither of those things, and while they were fighting, he was in shock and he was too cowardly to stand up and fight because he kept saying, they fought, they fought. He said it over and over again. Does he feel guilty because he did nothing? E. Beach says Saddiq decapitated all of them. No, I would say no way he did that. Okay, that's scenario 3. In scenario 4, the group was tortured, they were beaten, they never fought back. They were just killed and overran. Alpha completely dominated them, and Saddiq lied to make it seem like they were more heroic than they actually were. Those are your 4 choices. Those are the only 4 possible scenarios. And I'm going to repeat them. But I need everybody here, unless you got a 5th one that's going to blow me away, those are the potential options. We can funnel it down. It's going to be one of those 4. Saddiq decapitated him. He assisted for whatever reason. Alpha made him. Anything whatsoever. Number 2, he lured him out. Number 3, he didn't fight. Number 4, they all got completely overran, overpowered by Alpha, and he got up in front of everybody and lied about it. And what's important with that is because now we can get to the core element of what is causing his PTSD, what is causing his flashbacks, what is causing those memories. And as we get a clip of it, now, I do have to say this. The bloody machete and her telling him good scares the absolute hell out of me. Absolutely. Scares me to death. That wording is the part of it that makes me think it's not just guilt about the deaths. That when she said tell them, and he completely lied about tell them, and now he saw the bloody machete, he sees Enid, he's looking up at them. When she says good to him, my question to you, those of you that thought number 4, what is she telling him good? Don't you usually tell somebody good when they do a good job? You don't usually tell them good when they just sit there and watched you decapitate somebody. You don't walk over and say good. So think about that. Exactly, Jordan. Jordan Pippen says, why him? Maybe. I won't discount that. Maybe good means you understand. That could be part 2. She could have said, tell them, and maybe he nodded, and she said, good. And I can buy that. Absolutely. Look, I'm not trying to force a theory on you. And those of you, how many people have been on our channel for over a year? Raise your hand, Lydia that like button, hit the like button if you like what we do. If you've been here for over a year, because we got a lot of new people that are here, and a lot of people aren't going to understand how we break these shows down. So we're going to get 4 or 5 new people that are going to pop in. It's the nature of the show, right? We love The Walking Dead, and there's always going to be people that misunderstand what we're doing, because the problem is they're so used to tuning into a YouTube channel and the person with the microphone is saying, this is the way it's going to be. You got to accept it. This is how it's going to go. And that's not really what we do. It's rare that we do that. Most of the time, we're breaking it down and we want to give 3 or 4 options and come up with what we think is the best option, that the most people believe is the best option. Doesn't mean everybody that watches is going to think it's the best option. So when we talk about these 4 scenarios, I want to give you the good and the bad of each one of those. We got E Beach Super Chat, and it says he has access to all the people at all camps. He's a source. He is a source, Eric. But you also have to figure, if he's a traitor and he's meeting with people and he's having conversations with people, first of all, if I'm in Alexandria, I'm probably, especially with all the paranoia going down right now, I'm just going to keep an eye on people. But I do love, I'm going to tell you the things that I really love about the potential that Saddiq could have betrayed the group and possibly could have killed somebody in the group. If you give me those 4 scenarios, he didn't do anything and the group was overrun. He didn't do anything and the group fought back and he lied. He lured them out or he killed them. Based on what I have seen so far, I'm going to go with number 1 first and foremost. I think Alpha put him in a position, forced him to kill one of the group for a free pass with him, Rosita, and Coco. I think she threatened his family. And there's a couple of reasons why I believe that. I believe it is an incredibly twisted story. And I love an incredibly twisted story. How many people like Joker? If you like Joker, you like an incredibly twisted story. DeMilo Young says, I think it's number 1 and 2. Also, where are the bodies? Could Saddiq have helped Pike heads as well? Ooh. Oh, DeMilo, hold on. Oh, man. That's a great question. I mean, was there any indication that all the bodies were recovered? Let's go back and think about that for a second. Do you guys remember any clue, anything that suggested that they recovered all the bodies? John Wong says, why does it matter? It matters to me because when she's negotiating the borders, if they had any conversation with them, that would probably be a question that I would ask. What did you do to the bodies? Can they be buried? But never anything. Never mentioned. Julie Red Fair McGuire, was Saddiq shocked at the lineup order? Saddiq, when I saw him walk up the hill, that's another question, Red Fair. I want to drive that point home too because I'm leaning more toward number 1, and I'm going to tell you. Shannon M., the bodies would have been fed to the walkers. So, the decapitation, the remains were fed to the walkers, and there's a couple reasons why. I agree. I don't disagree that they were in shock and it wouldn't be a priority. But I think curiosity, no respect at all for the group. So what we're saying is that Alpha is semi-brutal. There's a story that we're only telling a little bit. You know what? Let's go big. You really, really want to tell this story in a deep, dark way? So I'm going to ask a question and I'm going to get back to that 1, 2, 3, 4. Could be like the theme song, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we got 4 options. We got our own song. Is it possible? Love it too. Absolutely love it. Because I do think we're going to lean toward a decision, and Ellis said it a little bit earlier. I didn't change my opinion. In fact, Will the Bill was the one that said they were a traitor, and I'm the one that said, no, I think he was forced to participate. What is number 5? I want to know what number 5 is, because I didn't know that was another option. I was pretty sure the first 4 encompassed like every scenario. Even the one where and hey, if there's a number 5 or number 6, type it up, because I want to just get the whole spectrum of potential outcomes out there. I don't feel like Alpha is of a semi-brutal nature. From what I've seen with Alpha, question for the group: is Alpha the type of person that you could see force someone to kill one of their own in order to survive? Yes or no question. Could you see Alpha in the ultimate sign of power and control threatening to take something away from you if you do not do it her way? All right. So we definitely think that that could be in play, whether it's Saddiq or whether it was Enid or whether it's anybody. And for sake of argument, if it makes you feel more comfortable, take Saddiq out of the equation. Let's say Saddiq died and this is Enid or this is Henry, whoever. Makes no difference to me. Is Alpha the kind of person that could exact her will? Okay, if she could, is there a benefit for Alpha to do that, to always have some internal leverage on the group? Think about the power of that. If she were able to threaten and say, I'm going to come after your baby if you don't do this. They're dead anyway. You might as well be the one holding the knife. I asked this question to many of you, and many of you said, look, if I'm up against the cliff and I'm going to have to jump anyway, I might as well gamble. Otherwise, Saddiq is dead too. So, if Alpha's capable of this, if there is leverage, nothing wrong with that, Wilson. Nothing wrong with fighting to the death. I won't judge anybody in here if you say I would fight her, I would stab her, I would do that to Henry. Whatever you choose, you choose. Not my job to judge you. So if Alpha does have that ability, she does have that capability, what is the purpose? Bigger question here. Big picture question, everybody. What's the purpose of the flashbacks every single week? And I'm going to call on Shannon M. Because Shannon, I know you've been all over this for a while. You've got the opportunity to make this Joker bazaar on The Walking Dead. Or you have the opportunity to tell a lesser story with Saddiq and say, look, he's just struggling. He's having a hard time with it. A couple flashbacks here or there. And I'm of the red fair contingency and saying that they're telling a big, big story here. To a degree, honestly, I would be... Now, let me caveat that as well. If there is another big story that could be in play. And it's not all about Saddiq holding the knife. Let's say, for example, the bigger story is Saddiq was powerless. Saddiq did nothing. Saddiq is guilty. Saddiq is suffering from PTSD. And Saddiq kills himself because he can never get over it. Now, that may not be as glamorous to the hardcore, they want to see the twisted plot. It is still important. I don't disagree with that. I think you lose an opportunity to really, really put Alpha on that epic villain pedestal all by herself. But the Saddiq storyline would still be important, showing the challenges and showing that he can never recover from it, which is what we started this stream out with. If you guys remember, we started the stream out comparing Aaron and comparing Saddiq, with the concept that Saddiq is a very humble, likable, protective person. But would that not be more shocking the nicer he is to find out the darker he might have been? I mean, once again, it's such a compelling topic to think about. I think there's two strong moral questions here. And one is, does he give up because it's outside of his control? Now, let me say this. If you guys think that suicide is taboo, Carl killed himself. Lydia was going to kill herself. Michonne talked about killing herself. Ezekiel's going to kill herself. And Saddiq could possibly kill himself. So let's not say that suicide on The Walking Dead, there are all kinds of hints to suicide. And I don't think that The Walking Dead is necessarily taking on society's problems with depression and PTSD and bullying. But I certainly think that it's all around us. Sasha killed herself. So as we get further and further into the hopelessness of the world being surrounded by zombies, it's a common theme, and it's much more common now than it was 7 years ago. 7 years ago, they thought they had a fighting chance. Look at all the people now that are willing to give up. I'm going to ask a question here. Okay? You can be perfectly honest. Once again, I ain't going to judge you. If you were in a zombie apocalypse and you've lived through this 7 years and you've got no one relying on you, would you let a walker bite you? Is there any purpose to getting up and picking strawberries every day? If you don't have a cure, if you don't have... I want you to think about that for a second. We talk about how we're going to fight to the end and we're going to, do this and do that. You don't have to answer, but just something to give a little bit of thought to. And look, we're yes, no, fine. I'm fine. I'm fine with all of the answers. I absolutely agree with that. Drama King, with Rosita, let's touch on that as well, because we did bring this up last week in a stream. How many people feel the Rosita holding her baby is Father G just died? All right, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4 again. Or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we'll do We'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. I like that. I like the song, and I like our new game. We have a new game. It's called 1, 2, 3, 4. We do 4 options. Rosita's holding the baby because Father G just died. How many people believe that? I don't believe it, but just want to get it out there. All right, that's option 1. Option 2, how many people feel like Rosita's holding Coco? And Saddiq just killed himself. Saddiq just died. The father of her baby just died, took his own life, can't deal with it any longer because of all the flashbacks, all the images. We got that maybe. Got that maybe crew. There is no maybe, Jessica Gonda. There is, you got to be decisive. You got to pick. No possiblies, Chip Smith. Come on, everybody. Make a stand. You can't pick all 4. There is no E, all of the above. All right. Number 3. Saddiq just told her the truth about what he did because he can't keep it inside any longer. He told her that he had to kill to keep her and Coco alive. You guys are twisted. Look at you guys, all these yeses out there. You guys are like, yep, he did it. Yes, he's going to tell her. Yes, that's the crying baby scene. And number 4, since we have to ask a 4, Rosita's crying because Eugene is building a fence in Hilltop, and she knows that her friendship with Eugene is over. Okay. Probably not. I just wanted to make it 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're just adding that extra option in there. See, I love this. And Lisa, thank you. Lisa Bernthal, what a bold and brave statement to say in a live stream. I would kill 100 people to keep my children safe. So Lisa, let me get this right. I just want to make sure, because you're not afraid to speak up. So if Alpha handed you the knife and said, this wonderful person, kill shot, who's never done anything wrong to anybody and has love all across the world, like people tune in and love to hang out and listen to him and hang out, you would take me out to save your children because of Alpha? Me, of all people? Absolutely. Look at that. See, I love it. You know what? I respect the honesty. Absolutely respect the honest nature. Will the Bill. Saddiq will never recover from his role in this. The group will kill him. Oh boy. Ezekiel. Carol. Wow. Hold on, I'm still trying to mentally get over the Alpha and Lisa and the knife and all of that. Christmas Girl, no Coco because no one really knew Rosita was pregnant. So I got a follow-up question for Lisa. Like after she took me out, Lisa, you at least would get a microphone and come to the 999 Army and say something along the lines of, the story she wanted me to tell was that we died. But Kills went out fighting for the 999 Army, went out on top. Even if I was like whimpering and crying like a baby, you would go to the group and at least say, hey, he broke free of the ropes, was attacking, taking out people, punching them, kicking them, Bruce Lee, and it took 20 of them to hold him down. But finally, they started the cut, but I just finished it. At least it'd be a story like that, right? Just want to make sure. So it's a tough story to tell. And of all the things out there, and certainly every week, if they keep teasing us with these flashbacks, it is such good fodder to talk about what Saddiq's state of mind was, what Alpha's state of mind was, who are the other people involved. I think Will the Bill brought up a great point. What would be the reaction? What would be Rosita? So here we go. If Saddiq were to tell Rosita, how many people chose that as an option? That Rosita is crying because she found out the truth from Saddiq. So those that picked that, and even those that didn't, I want you to dig into this and see how this could play out. Now Rosita has a secret. How does Rosita live with this secret? What does she do? This might be the most phenomenal untold and told story in the history of The Walking Dead. I want to mentally walk through this, all these different consequential reasonings. And let me get this super chat because I want to explain to you how one person's burden just became another person's silent burden. Absolutely mind-blowing. Catface Killer. Walkers overrun Alexandria. Rosita thinks Coco's in danger. She battles the dead to get to her, then collapses, crying with Coco in her arms. Absolutely. Possibility. Problem with that, Catface, is I'm getting the hell out of there. So it certainly could be. I like that as an alternative. That's 5. Okay, but now I'm going to have to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It just kind of messed up the game a little bit. If you would have told me that before I got to my cheesy 4 option, I would have rather used yours as a 4 instead of the one I came up with as a 5. But I do like that. I like that as a number 4. So let's get rid of the whole, she's upset over the Eugene friendship. So now they're in danger. Coco is in danger, and she appreciates that. I like it. All right. So let's drill down to the ultimate in psychological being mind screwed. Saddiq is dealing with the guilt or the trauma or whatever he's dealing with. And he passes that secret off to Rosita. And hey, got something I have to tell you. It's disturbing. I made a deal with the devil, and she agreed to never touch you or our baby. Now, what does Rosita do with that knowledge? And I'm going to ask you in the audience, everybody here, somebody confides in you that secret. If your significant other does that for you, what do you do? Do you now carry that guilt around for the rest of your life? Or do you rat them out and let them deal with the wrath of the group? So Will the Bill, back to your super chat. This is where I have a problem with it because I don't know that Saddiq's story will ever be told. And here's a couple reasons. Number one, if he tells this to Rosita, he's as good as dead. He's going to kill himself anyway. Done. He ain't going to live. He's going to get it off his conscience if he did it, and then he's going to kill himself. Saddiq will not last this season. Trust me when I tell you this. His arc is going down a dead end no matter which way you go. The PTSD is going to get the best of him, or the truth is going to get the best of him. But I don't think he's going to be able, we've already seen Dante recover from it. I don't think they're going to tell a similar story with Saddiq. I don't think Dante is Saddiq's savior. Just my opinion. You can disagree with that. But there's also another reason. If Saddiq got together at the Red Fair and all those people died and everybody thinks they died heroes, and you're Rosita and you find out the truth, do you go back to everybody and say, you know what? Henry was crying like a baby. Saddiq killed him. Tara, she never got to fight. She was overran. You've got this story, and Saddiq said as much and said, that's the story I want to tell you. Not that's the story that happened. That's the story I want to tell you. Now, let's get a little bit selfish for a moment. Does telling that epic story also provide Saddiq a little bit of immunity? Public immunity, not private. If one or two people found out about it, now, I'm going to ask you this question. Everybody here, hypothetical, we are funneling tonight big time. If you guys are having a good time, if you like our topics, as controversial as they may seem, but you like really digging down into the psychology, give this video a thumbs up. If you don't, if you hate it, you're like, what the hell am I doing here? I should have been watching Adult Swim or something else. Give it a thumbs down. If you don't like what we do, give it a thumbs down. Give us some honest feedback. But I'm going to push you. I'm going to challenge you because I got the question for you right now. Everybody here, you're on the council. Well, you can't all be on the council, but let's just say each one of you is on the council and there's only 4 other people on the council. It's Daryl. It's Father G. It's Michonne. Whatever. Pick your own council. And you find out the truth about Saddiq. And let's just say the truth is he partnered with Alpha in some way. Do you expose him for no good reason at all and undermine the legacy of all those people that died? Or do you just kill him and keep it a secret that he was a traitor and now he's dead, and Henry, Tara, Ozzy, all those people go down as legends? I need your thoughts, your honest opinions right now. What would you do if you were in the council? You going to get everybody together and just tell them a truth that might be completely unnecessary? Heart of Nixie says exile him. I'm not opposed to that. So some of those people that say he must be exposed, what if exposing him shined a light that the people that died did not die fighting back, did not die in the epic fashion? Just curious. I don't have an answer for this. I'm putting you guys on the spot, but it's kind of unfair because I don't know. I don't know what would be in the best interest of the people that are there. So I'll add a further point to it. What if exposing those people undermined their legacy and also killed the morale of your group and gave you less of a chance because, whoa, yeah, I thought we had a fighting chance because people fought back. I didn't know they didn't. Just additional food for thought. And I love some of the comments. And like I said, I haven't been able to call on everybody's comment, but there's some amazing thoughts, some amazing feedback. And if you guys watch the playback, I would just ask you guys, take a look at some of the funneling, some of the theories, some of the great thoughts, some of the amazing super chat. Fluff Flamethrower said the morale is already bad right now. It is. Certainly is. They need more morale. They have to fight alpha. Daryl brought up a great point as well when Daryl said, I'm afraid if we don't solve the problems happening internally, all the other stuff won't matter. And he's one of the first people to actually say that. Drama King says, I think Alpha is going to tell one of the members of the group the real story, and that's how Saddiq gets exposed. Well, if she's holding that card, I certainly think it's got to be played at some point. If Alpha actually had the power to do that, unbelievable. Hey, everybody, we are 55 minutes in. I want to thank all of you guys. What an amazing group of people. Love to drill down. Love the controversy. I'm looking forward to next week. I want to see another flashback. So far, we've seen, we've seen what triggered it. Carol was there. Henry flashback. We get to see the machete. We get to hear the voice, the screaming in the background. This week, we got to see Enid. We heard screaming in the background. It is just absolutely haunting him. Saddiq put the ice in the water and put his face down there. I mean, he's a doctor. And the question is, when you're a doctor, I'm not going to say that Saddiq has a God complex, but there are a lot of doctors that do. And it's very possible that Saddiq, because of his background, does not think that he can be helped by anyone else. He thinks that he's going to work himself through it, and he's got too much pride to go to someone else to actually get to that. And I think once he breaks down, we may never see him come back to where he is. But I will say this, extremely likable, and I love that they got me on the fence with him. Like, I like him more than Aaron, but I still don't trust him because of what he said, how he acted, what he's seeing. All these hints and all these flashbacks to me says there's a bigger story that's going to be uncovered here. I want to thank each and every one of you. You guys like The Walking Dead. You like hanging out with us. You love drilling down into it. Then be back here at 9:30. We're going to do a complete recap of all the other things that happened during the show. The Ezekiel Michonne kiss, the Judy and Michonne scene, what's going on with Magna and Yumiko. Is Luke the next one out? Is Kelly the next one out? Be here in 1 hour, 9:30. We will be live all over again. We're just going to have a whole array of topics. Thank you for everything that you guys do. Once again, if you love us, give us a thumbs up. If you hate us, give it a thumbs down. And, we get it. But just want to give a shout out to the Patreons. Thank you so much. Top left-hand corner, all the Patreons. Brand new Patreons, brand new PDL sponsors. I am just extremely proud of how our group has grown. Thank you so much to each and every one of you. Green Team, you guys can see those. Custom emojis. Thank you, Green Team. Super Chatters, awesome group of Super Chatters tonight. And, of course, the moderators, Emmy, Steph, Tommy, Kells. And I will see all of you at 9:30. Have a good night, everybody. Peace.